Bracy Skills Clinic's back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. I'm not big on like holidays outside of, coming together with the family and whatnot. Once you start understanding what different holidays truly mean, you'll kind of start laying off the, super tradition for some people at least. But I do believe it's a great day to be off of work and to eat good food and to spend time with your family. So happy holidays to everyone out there. I'm going to do a quick video, man, because there's been a lot that's been going on in the Spurs world since I've done my last video. And I want to hit on a few topics, to be honest with you. I want to hit on a few topics. So this one might be, a decent long video. Long for my standards. I don't really do super long 30-minute, hour videos, but let's get started. So we've lost 10 straight. We have, throughout the 10 games, we've played some pretty bad basketball. Okay, I think last night's game against the Clippers wasn't too bad, but I'm saying overall throughout the losing streak, we've had some very, very bad basketball overall. Obviously, we're a young team. Obviously, guys are trying to learn new positions and new way of playing. I get all that, but I did not expect us to lose 10 straight. I did not expect us to start our first 15 games and only win 3 of those games. I definitely did not expect that. So, my prediction at the beginning of the year was I felt we would be around, a chance to maybe compete for like the lower side of the play-in, like a 10th seed, 11th seed. That was my prediction at the beginning of the year. I'm here to tell you guys I was incredibly wrong. I'll admit, I'm a real man. I'll admit when I was wrong. And not only was I wrong about us not getting into the play-in, but, man, if the Spurs don't start picking it up a little bit, they may play their way out of Wembanyama getting Rookie of the Year. You can't keep losing games like this, and then you got Chet Holmgren, playing well with the Thunder, even though Wemby's numbers are pretty much better than all of Chet's numbers across the board outside of maybe like field goal percentage and three-point shooting percentage. Everything else Wemby actually tops Chet on. But the Spurs have been so bad that the race is actually closer than what it should be. So hope I'm still right about him getting Rookie of the Year. Hope I'm still right about him getting first team on defense. And I'm still kind of hopeful that he at least gets the All-Star game by vote. I know there'll be a lot of criticism out there if he was able to get in with as bad as the Spurs are. But I hope at least, the Spurs Nation is able to vote Wembanyama as an all-star this year. If not, he's definitely not going to get in as a reserve. Spurs are just they're not playing well enough right now. But more importantly, what I really want to talk about is the Spurs fans. And I was going to do this video actually before last night's game, but it kind of ties into everything that happened with the Kawhi Leonard thing and Pop going on the mic telling everybody to stop booing, basically. I was actually going to talk about Spurs Nation yesterday. And what I was going to talk about prior to the game was, I'm in a lot of different Spurs groups on Facebook. And, I hear people's opinions. I value people's opinions. I basically went on one of the Facebook groups earlier this week, and I basically said that, paraphrasing, the Spurs are playing bad basketball. We stand behind our Spurs, but we're not going to stand behind, pathetic basketball, meaning lack of effort, not competing, and I felt the Spurs had some instances where they were not playing hard. Like you saw the body language lacked in a few instances of the game, and they've been very inconsistent with effort. I'm not talking about wins. I'm not talking about making shots. I'm talking about just playing hard, right? And I went on one of the groups and I basically said that, and there were some people that, supported what I said, but there was a lot of if you don't like the Spurs or you can't support, you should just leave or don't watch, or you ain't got to support, go support somebody else. It was a lot of that going on. And, of course, somebody's always going to voice their opinion, but it was kind of like, okay, man, you guys are not looking at what I'm saying. Obviously, I know the Spurs was not going to win a championship this year, but we have the right to be honest about what we see, and we do have the right to at least expect our team to go out there and compete, win, lose, or draw. If we don't come up with the result, like last night, they played hard. I give it to the Spurs last night. They competed. They played hard. They were down by double digits. They got, they tried to make a late push at the end. They played hard. I'll give them that. But, like I said, there were instances within these 10 games that we've lost in a row that I felt like the effort was kind of average. It wasn't like you could tell the losing has affected some of these guys mentally with their effort and their energy and their play. And so that's where I was getting at was, we want to see guys compete. Like, we know you guys are young. We know we're the youngest team in the NBA. We know it's a long process, but we do want to see them compete. And everybody's like, well, how do you know that they're not competing? I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at how these guys, it's just certain reactions on the court. Maybe it's because I'm a basketball coach, but it's just certain reactions that I see within the team that I'm like, okay, yeah, they're letting it affect them now. Okay, yeah, they're it's taking a toll. The losing is taking a toll on them now. Like you can tell in certain games and certain instances that that's happening. So, I went in the chat and I basically said that, it was a lot of back and forth between the group chat and the comments on Facebook or whatever. And I was gonna do a video basically saying like, Spurs fans, man, we gotta be honest about what we see, and we gotta stop like going at our own, meaning like our own fan base. Like, why do we turn against each other so much? And then here comes yesterday, Kawhi Leonard goes to the free throw line and is being booed. First, I'm going to say this, and I know Spurs fans are definitely going to disagree with what I'm about to say. I never agreed with the Spurs fans booing Kawhi Leonard. Never agree with that. Never, ever agree with it. Do I like how Kawhi left? No. Do I feel like Kawhi kind of, sold us out to a certain extent with some of the stuff he was doing and saying, like his final speech after he won with the Raptors? Do I think did he have to do that? No. But I still don't believe we should be booing him. Like, the fans have the right to boo, not him. I mean, they have the right to boo him, but I don't think they should, right? I don't think they should be booing Kawhi Leonard because at the end of the day, we should be very thankful of what Kawhi brought to our franchise, period. Okay? Kawhi Leonard helped. The fact is, Kawhi Leonard helped extend the Spurs run. And I'm talking about the big three. Okay? Like, if anybody remembers Spurs basketball from 2009 to 2011, it looked like the run was over back then. Like, there was first round exits. There was an upset to the Grizzlies. We looked a little older on the perimeter. Tim Duncan didn't quite look the same. Parker even looked a little different, even Manu. And a lot of people thought the run was over back then because the Spurs just wasn't advancing deep into the playoffs like they were, in the mid 2000s, mid to late 2000s, 2007, 2008. So a lot of people thought the run was over. And then here comes Kawhi Leonard in 2011 via trade for George Hill. And he starts as a rookie. He basically replaces Bruce Bowen and Richard Jefferson pretty much. And starts at the 3, plays phenomenal. We got to the conference finals, played really well in the conference finals. We lost that year to OKC. Then 2013, we get to the finals. He played well overall in that final. Like, you got to think that Kawhi was the main piece that we added. Couple role players like Boris Diaw, Patty Mills for sure. But Kawhi was our best player from 2014 to to his time that he left, pretty much, right? And he helped extended that run. And there is no 2014 championship without Kawhi Leonard. That is a fact. So I don't feel like we should be booing him. Now, if this was a situation where Kawhi did everything he did as far as, how he left, and we never got past the first or second round with him, hey, by all means, I understand, boo him. This guy brought us a championship. He was a finals MVP. And he even took us to the conference finals the year after Tim Duncan retired. Do people forget that? Tim Duncan retired, and we got to the conference finals with Kawhi Leonard as our best player, had the Warriors down 20 points. Game 1 with Kevin Durant, and he gets hurt, and then that was it. That was it for pretty much Kawhi too, in the Spurs uniform. So I know we don't like how he left, but I do think I don't agree with us booing him. I never agree with that. And to watch our Spurs fans boo him and Pop having to get on the mic, it shows that some of our Spurs fans, they're diehard, they're very supportive, but some of them are a little over the top. I'm not gonna lie. because they go at each other really harshly, and look at how they treat our own. Like, this is not good representation for future players that want to play here. Look at the fans. Like, when you're no longer a part of us, look how they treat you, man. We really should be retiring Kawhi Leonard's number. I don't care what nobody says. I know Spurs fans are going to disagree with this too. We should be retiring Kawhi Leonard's number. He got us a championship and he was a Finals MVP. We should be retiring his number. We've retired guys' numbers that did not do as much as Kawhi Leonard did individually and as a champion. There's guys' numbers that are retired. His number should be retired. So that's why I think that's where some of that comes from for Pop, because it's like, we should be looking at retiring his number one day because of what he did during his time in San Antonio. And the fans are booing him like he's not even welcome in San Antonio. I know the disrespectful things he did and said, but he still brought us a championship, bro. And look at how hard it is to build a championship contender. We're in the rebuild phase. He was the guy that brought us our last championship. It's not easy to win championships in the NBA. He was a Finals MVP when he won. I don't agree with us booing him, and I think some of the Spurs Nation are a little over the top. I got love for you. We love our Spurs, but I think some of our fans, man, gotta really, really chill, man. Like I don't want my Spurs turning into a New York Knicks fan base, man, or a Laker fan base. But man, we're close right now, bro. My Spurs fan base is really looking New York Knickish and Los Angeles Lakerish, like just delusional. They're looking like that, man. I think maybe that's what championships do to some fan bases, but man, I don't want us turn into the Knicks, man, where we just booing our own draft picks and all that type. Man, I do not want to see us doing that. I know we ain't did that yet, but I'm saying, like, we're close right now with the way some of our fans act. Like, we're getting close. So, man, I had to touch up on that. I know it's Thanksgiving. I'm finna make my store run. My Dallas Cowboys, hopefully they don't let me down today on Thanksgiving. I'm going to make my store run and spend time with my family. But I had to touch up on that, man. Spurs Nation, some of you guys need to chill. We love you. We love our Spurs. Some of y'all got to chill, man. So let's stop going at each other so much on these internet groups, Facebook groups. And I'm one of the few fans, I know a lot of fans are going to disagree, like I said, but I'm one of the few fans that don't agree with us booing Kawhi Leonard. He brought us a championship. He was a Finals MVP. And if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan wouldn't have 5. Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili wouldn't have 4. That's the cold truth. Like, comment, subscribe.